one of my friends that has watched this before we did has been making noise, and I've just been like, just like that.
Like that.
What?
For the record, she was perfectly quiet until we started
talking.
This is... I think we need to have a talk with her.
Because she's just like, you're talking, but I'm not involved, so I need to be involved. Anyway, all of my friends have been making noise about this episode, so I've been doing this all day, because we record at night.
And I've stayed away from the internet, and I've been blissfully unaware about everything.
Oh, none of my friends have said anything spoilery, like they kept it all on lockdown, but they've all been like this, and so I'm like this by osmosis, so let's fucking watch it.
Spoiler alert, Wash dies at the end. I'm so sorry.
So there's a funny story about that I'll tell you off camera, because it has nothing to do with any of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Funny ha-ha, or?
Funny haha.
Okay.
Which you'll get if you support me for $10 a month on Patreon, because that's blooper reel shit. Anyway. Shameless. Season 15, episode 10, Battle Scars.
Cool.
Because we're doing this. Alright.
Ooh, are we gonna see David without his helmet?
Oh, I doubt it. He's one of the Blood Gulch crew at this point.
Yeah.
Carolina.
Aww.
Sorry, must have spaced out. Any luck?
No sign of
girl.
Agent Illinois. This is definitely his place, though.
Illinois.
How can you tell?
Oh.
Really takes you back, huh?
Sure does.
You two look cozy.
Oh, God.
Pretty sure I hit him for doing that.
Seems our friend left in a hurry.
That's about right.
The only thing missing from the place is his armor.
But where
Quiet,
did he
you.
go?
No note. Your guess is as good as mine. Good call on finding him here, though.
What do you remember about Agent Illinois?
Demolitions expert. He wasn't top tier, but he was a crack shot with a rifle.
I mean out of armor.
Oh, I never knew him.
Illinois was always different. He wasn't ambitious or competitive like the rest of us. He didn't fight for an AI or screw over his friends to get placed higher in the rankings. Instead, he was doing a job and dreaming of the life after.
Oh.
Of an island chain that stretched around an entire planet. A shack by the water, with a bar full of spiced rum and a tiny red sailboat.
Sounds like the life.
He did it.
I didn't realize you two were close.
We weren't. He and York were drinking buddies, though. I heard all about it hanging out with them.
York, huh? This must reopen some old wounds. I'm sorry.
Sometimes I think York was my chance at a fresh start. I threw it down an elevator shaft.
You're being too hard on yourself. You've changed over the years. I've seen it myself.
And he's
I've
dead
grown from being
because
a
of
dishonorable killing machine to an honorable killing machine. That's quite the journey.
Bale. Oh,
Well,
poor baby.
it's never too late to start over again.
Says the guy who's only here because he got a second chance.
Do you really believe that, David?
Well, I don't know if rock singer is really in your future. But yeah.
It was fun to watch them squirm, though, wasn't it?
I changed my mind. You are evil.
This is all I
Oh!
from York. From Freelancer. Just this and my armor.
Joe, you're mean.
You don't have to do that.
What about starting over?
I mean, you don't have to destroy the past to have a future.
Aww.
Take off your suit.
What?
I got an idea. Take it off.
Okay,
Oh my God.
that's
Okay,
a
Tucker.
little forward.
No, not like that. The recovery beacons, that's the key.
Excuse me?
Every suit that belonged to Project Freelancer was special. They all had recovery beacons in them so agents could be located if they were ever in distress. Personally, I didn't like the idea of walking around with an active tracking device.
So you turned ours off, I remember.
Well, maybe that's why we're still around. Whoever's been tracking down freelancers has a way of following the beacons.
So we turn ours back
Maybe he's a
on and
former
lure
recovery
the hunters here?
Unless you have a better
Illinois?
idea.
Maybe.
Or not.
Can't say I do.
Whoever's doing this.
So?
Are you going to turn around?
Ah, yes. Sorry.
She has an undersuit, for God's sakes. And they had a communal locker room. Really?
Oh man, you are not going to believe this.
Mercenaries?
Nope.
Space pirates?
Dumber.
Don't tell me. The reds and blues?
It's twice as bad as that.
Oh, God.
Let me guess, Sarge built robot versions of everyone.
Guess again.
I'd really rather not.
Fine. Wash, Carolina. Meet Temple, Surge, Loco, Robo Spaghettio, Bucket, Bucky, whatever.
Bucket.
And Donut 2.0.
Washington, Carolina, it's an honor to meet you both.
Oh, this is gonna
What?
be bad.
The heck?
Can you explain why there's two of everyone?
They're from another gulch. That's why they look like us. Look, the whole story is long and complicated, and we need to get out of here ASAP.
Oh, I don't
You're really
know.
fucked up
Freelancers give
activating
some
your beacon.
context.
That's how they're
That'd be
tracking us
great.
down.
We were counting on it. We're luring them here.
Well, lucky for you, we can do the same thing.
Yeah, lucky.
From our perspective, we set a trap, and you all fell in it. Well, your trap wouldn't have worked anyway. The UNSC has a nasty habit of nuking from orbit first, asking questions later.
The UNSC?
Oh, big surprise. You guys haven't figured out what's going on yet. Score another for Team Tucker.
You have? And Church?
He's alive.
If you come with us, we'll explain everything.
Oh, I don't like this.
That's a talk!
That's quite a story.
Temple only left out the part where Sarge fell in love with himself, and Simmons realized he can't stand his own reflection.
What about the reporter? Did she leave?
No, she's around here somewhere. We've been keeping her on a don't-need-to-know basis. Can't trust the press these days.
Why not? She seemed perfectly trustworthy to me.
Well, we don't, know what her agenda and stuff is.
But Tucker, she can get the real story out. She publicizes this insane plot by the UNSC to kill the ex-agents. So
And sim troopers. We're people too.
if she can get the story out,
People
it's
do
game
party.
over.
There's no easy way out of this. This ends with us taking the fight to those that would see us all dead. This ends in violence.
What if it didn't have to?
They killed your friends.
They have church.
And they need to be brought to justice, but what if for once it was in a courtroom or a court-martial and not at the end of somebody's knife?
Are you feeling all right?
Damn.
Our adversaries are too powerful. If we come at them now with just accusations,
I think I know what
they're
he's
gonna
doing.
turtle up and write it out. They're looking for us. They're poking their head out of their shell, and I aim to chop it the fuck off.
Oh, yeah, boy.
Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Strategizing can wait until breakfast at
I
least.
don't like him.
And breakfast is fish. Oh, sorry.
Man, I'm gonna puke if I eat one more fucking fish.
Hey, it's not like there's any cows or chickens swimming around our underwater base. Anyway,
Lair.
how about I give our guests the grand tour?
How about you don't
Just
go
through
alone
here.
with...
Sorry about the mess. You wanted to show us
Oh.
what? We've just gathered
to that
some
audio.
relics from Project Freelancer.
Oh, God.
I thought you both would appreciate the collection.
Oh, no! He didn't follow them
Let me
in.
get the lights.
Are they in stasis?
Recognize anyone? Oh man, that's Asian Arizona's armor, isn't it?
In Maryland, there's Alaska.
There's only one way.
I think you need to check your plumbing. That smell.
That's not sewage.
They're dead. In their armor.
I don't think
That's gross.
these are just suits of armor.
What? That's...
You,
It's full-on
Guilty.
horror movie villain.
what did you do to them?
I killed them. I murdered them. I set my vengeance free upon them, and it felt so good. But not half as good as this feels. Well, if it's a fight you want...
Then I think we can oblige.
I could never best you in a fight.
They're in a
And
trap.
anyway, don't they say that revenge is a dish best served frozen? My greatest fear is that you would know me, Carolina. That you'd recognize my voice and the game would be up. Carolina, I can't.
I can't move either. I'm locked.
The armor lock technology was salvaged from Project Freelancer.
Because of course it
Fate
was.
is not without irony. And the past is not without its just dessert. That yarn about the UNSC? They're not really killing freelancers. Of course
Yes.
not. I am.
Why?
Because of what you did to us. For what she did most of all. The record for staying alive in this room, locked in your armor, is 8 days and 11 hours. I know you've always been the most competitive of the freelancers, Agent Carolina, so do try to do better for me. The Reds and Blues will come looking. The Reds and Blues will be dead before they even miss you. So long, Agent Washington. No! So long, Carolina.
Someone connected to Carolina.
I was afraid you would
I kind of-
recognize my voice.
Yeah. Okay, I see what his kind of grand scheme was now, in hindsight. I don't know if the other sim troopers are in on it, or if they're just hapless idiots who he happened to pick up. But commit murders in the name, commit crimes in the names of the Reds and Blues, for a chorus. I don't know how that ties into anything, or if it's tied in at all. But then make the Reds and Blues take the fight to the UNSC. They get killed in the crossfire and take the fall for everything while he's got his little serial killer room going on. It's not...
Who the fuck is it?
I don't know! I would assume another freelancer at this point, but because he
And what
he
she
seems
did specifically.
he seems to resent Carolina, so he was probably a freelancer who was just below the leaderboard status.
Or he might have been a sim trooper that got fucking wrecked by freelancers coming through and using them as a training ground.
That's also true. So yeah, not willing to rule that out just yet. But holy cow,
Ooh.
he froze freelancers in their armor and then left them in a dark room to starve to death.
And what intrigues me is that he does have freelancer armor, but he's changed the armor lock technology not to work on that frequency. He didn't lock himself. Whereas the last time we saw it, it locked everyone in the facility.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet he's going to try and lock the Reds and Blues and it won't take on Caboose. Because Caboose's helmet is off, remember? And we switched it back in season 11 to the old helmet.
We did.
Oh, this makes me nervous.
Again,
I mean, I know they're going to be fine, but
also,
holy shit.
Dylan's just somewhere on the ship.
Yeah, I worry
What
about
are the
that.
odds that she's like locked in another dark room with Jax and like that's all like
I
they
doubt
stay locked in that room?
I doubt that's the case, because I think if they had straight up disappeared, because they didn't say we haven't seen her, they just said she's on a don't need to know basis, because Tucker, you're
I don't know.
easily
She's-
led sometimes.
She's not here, and they just got locked in a dark room with a bunch of dead people.
But she doesn't have freelancer
She
technology.
doesn't, but that doesn't stop them
Armor
from
lock.
locking them in somewhere. There are
True.
plenty of doors in this evil lair, and he straight up calls it a lair.
I do think that she's not physically locked up anywhere, because that's the point where tables turn. Now that he's done this to Wash and Carolina, he has to turn on the Reds and Blues, because they are going to start asking questions. And they're here, our friends are back, wait, where the fuck did they go?
I'm just throwing that out as a possibility. I'm not saying that's for sure what's going on.
I think that this is our tipping point, and that it has to be for Temple. I do think that that this is going to be undone from Dylan and Jax sniffing around, because they will find out from someone, the freelancers are back. Wait, where did they go? Wait, something doesn't add up. The recovery beacon bit was smart.
Just
Well,
as
too
Carolina was deciding to start again.
God.
Aww. F you, Temple. You
This is
suck.
what I get for asking for more fucking Wash screen time. Like,
Yep.
this is what I get.
Yep. He's frozen in a room with a bunch of his old dead friends.
And literally today, I was making jokes about Red versus Blue and about series that like to hurt me. Because we were talking about the new Pirates movie to, my friends are big Pirates fans. Saw them for the first time in a while tonight. And
How they
talking
doing?
about, they're doing all right. But talking about, you're like, well, one of my friends who is a fan of the Navy characters in Pirates, whose favorite character died in the previous movie, She's like, it was nice to see a movie and be like, they can't hurt me anymore. And I'm sitting here going, that's not a great way to approach a canon. And I say that as someone who is a Kingdom Hearts fan and a Transformers fan and a Red vs. Blue fan. Red vs. Blue, I keep saying, I'm gonna be fine. And then we keep ending seasons with Schrodinger's wash.
The season's not over yet.
I know, but we're back in Schrodinger's wash territory.
He may or may not be dead.
He may or may not be dead.
Oh,
damn.
Oh, man.
I can't believe that this thing worked with literally every freelancer. Like, how the fuck did they manage? And I feel so bad for Illinois because he had the life and then this shit happened.
He was in retirement, yo.
He was in retirement on a little tropical island having a grand old time, and then it was like,
Yeah, I mean, thinking about it more, it sounds like he was either a freelancer on the leaderboard who was taking out everybody who ranked above him, or, yeah, a straight up sim trooper. And I think sim trooper makes more sense because he seems to be killing freelancers indiscriminately.
And also
Yeah.
it's sim team. So I wonder if there wasn't a training op with his initial sim whatever and Carolina fucking ran
I'm telling
train.
you.
I wonder if she didn't kill some of the other
I'm
sim
telling
soldiers.
you, they killed their Griff. Project Freelancer killed their Griff,
That
their
would make
version of
sense.
Griff, and that's why the robot is wearing Griff's armor.
I also wonder if that wasn't the
is colored Griff's armor.
I also wonder if that wasn't the heist at the beginning.
Probably.
Because what were they getting from that facility? No one figured out what they did. But if they were on Sidewinder, where the mother of invention, there we go, words, names, I'm good at this, crashed, and if they were lifting technology from other freelancer stuff, I mean,
I don't know.
it's not like they can get their hands on the staff of Charon because I assume that went down over Chorus. I don't know. I don't think they could get their hands on what the chairman had. But there's all sorts of freelancer technology
Yeah.
all over the fucking place because the recovery program wasn't very good.
No, it wasn't.
Let's take our people
Counselor,
who
you're
can't
terrible.
fucking hack it for one reason or another and make them pick up their dead friends' bodies. What a good plan! What a shitty plan. Why would you do that?
You're bad at this.
The entirety of Project Freelancer is just why would you do that? And I think you're right. I think that Freelancer killed these people's Griff, and I think it might have straight up been Carolina, because we also had Sim Troopers, we're people too, which is not a mentality that Freelancer had. Admittedly, Freelancer didn't really have a people mentality for anyone in the program.
You're not number one.
Who cares? And even when Carolina was number one, is she a people? Is Tex a people? Yes, Tex is the people of my heart, and everyone else is just kind of,
You're a bad dad.
do we matter? Do we matter? Okay, good to know.
He's a very bad dad.
He's a fucking terrible dad. Like, how did he get clearance? How was there no oversight? How
I
did...
don't know. He was a very smart man, I guess, except for all the times he chose not to be.
High intelligence, low wisdom.
You're bad at everything, Leonard Church.
God.
Which means that, like,
I'd like to also say low charisma and that he just crit success
Again.
dating Allison.
clearly.
I just kept rolling nat 20s and then she died and he was like, shit, I have a -3 modifier, don't I? Fuck. Is it too late to reallocate some of my stats? Oh, I'm as high level as I'm gonna go and I put them all into intelligence? Shit.
Whoops.
Oops.
Womp womp.
That made me feel better.
You alright there? Taking shots at the director always makes me feel better, right?
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah,
again,
because admittedly, I am doing this right now. Well done. It's been a long time since, like, the second time we had Schrodinger's wash, I was like, well, shit happens.
he'll be fine.
Well, I was like, he'll be fine. And now I'm sitting here going, well, he'll be fine. But I'm also like, this is only one arc. We're in season 15. Oh. Like, ooh. I feel like they wouldn't kill him off in that way, but I don't know. Something that, and God, I fucking praise Joe for keeping me guessing and told him Wash is my favorite character.
No!
Wow, it's almost like this entire episode was already written, recorded, rendered, everything.
Good for Joe for having a great poker face.
Holy shit.
Like he must have been like, oh, okay, cool.
I have a wash bias, motherfucker. Well, and I'm going, oh yeah, what happens before episode 12? This.
Womp,
Fucking
womp,
this.
womp.
Oh no.
Goodness. So yeah,
The statue garden.
you're right there. Yeah,
I'll be
like I
fine.
said, Temple went full serial killer here.
He really did.
Yeah.
This is some serial killer shit.
Yeah,
And I think you're right. I think they killed this team's Griff.
And that's
I
what
don't
like
know
broke this guy.
I have to wonder if our Griff is going to show up at all, or if there's any way that he can. I don't know if
at
there's a
this
ship
point.
left. I don't know if there's.
I
We
would
had
like to think.
Doc last episode, right?
Yeah.
Where the fuck is Doc? Did he just disappear into the
I
ether?
don't know. Everyone ignored, all the Reds and Blues ignored Doc so hard that he went to another dimension and no one noticed.
And grew an alternate personality, and
Oh, poor baby.
all sorts of shit happened. Like, there's nobody in the back pocket except for Griff. And Griff may not have a way off. Unless Chorus does something, which is probably not going to happen because that fucking blockade, like, that's it.
Yeah.
It's Dylan and Jax.
But it would make sense if it was this team's Griff that, you know, got killed and ended up breaking Temple as he was. Because, I mean, not to take too much from what Joe said during our interview, but he said Griff was his favorite character. So kind of putting that emotional significance into his analog for this other team makes a lot of sense. And theoretically, bringing Griff in to resolve a lot of this stuff also makes sense. Complete speculation on my part. I don't know. Maybe Griff's just living it up somewhere, enjoying himself.
It's been weeks. You can only be alone for so long before you go crazy and make a Wilson.
Yeah,
Like,
true. That's true.
you can only do that for so long.
Yeah.
People are social creatures. I don't know if we talked about it on this show or no, we talked about it on Samurai Jack. It's the zombie apocalypse mentality.
Mm-hmm.
There may be less than 10% of the population is actually wired to survive alone. Like, full on, no other people, no one to talk to, no nothing. Because people are meant to be social creatures. You can be introverted, but you still need people to talk to, and you still kind of need people around. Being completely and utterly alone usually drives people insane, and that's why solitary confinement is supposed to be so incredibly measured and monitored, and you get to come out once a day to go do exercise, because otherwise people go crazy. And so you leave Griff alone. I seriously doubt that he's one of the, I feel like it's either like 7% or 3%. It's less than 10. I doubt that he's one of the minority of the population that is wired to survive alone. So we'll either see him like making a Wilson or something, or we'll see, I don't know.
My question, oh, sorry.
No,
finish with that.
That's basically what I have, is that you see zombie apocalypse survivors in media, they have to be one of the 10% in order to be able to keep going. Like, I'm the sole survivor of the apocalypse, I travel alone, I do the whatever. You are of a very, very small minority of people that can do that and not go bugfuck crazy. Mad Max can't do that. He hallucinates like a motherfucker when he's alone.
He does.
Like, it's very difficult to find someone and be like, oh yeah, this is how people are. This is not how people are. These are the exceptions to the rule, and that's why they're still alive in the zombie apocalypse. Or you group up with people, which you have to. It's a survival thing. So yeah, I don't think Griff would have lasted terribly long, because he's used to these people, and he's used to having Simmons to play off of and Sarge to avoid, and like, he's used to all of these people being here, and then suddenly he is alone on this planet without even robots or dinosaurs. Like, I feel like he would have built something or tried to get something or something, some form of transportation to go fucking find them, because it was the alternative to losing his goddamn mind.
Yeah.
I can see Caboose as a zombie apocalypse survivor, oddly enough.
He needs friends.
He'd be very lonely, but he'd be okay.
He needs friends.
He makes friends with inanimate objects.
That's also true. My question, because Temple, as much as successful as he's been thus far.
Horrifyingly so. He had like a dozen people in there.
He really did. And they're freelancers, and he fully acknowledges that he can't physically best any of them.
He said he couldn't physically best Carolina.
I would assume that would extend to any freelancer, especially armed ones. But my question here is whether or not he's not also a pawn in someone else's game. Maybe somebody who has a grudge against the UNSC is using his particular vendetta. Is using his vendetta as a way to take down, or maybe even somebody within the UNSC, of like, that group of soldiers caused a lot of problems for us. Project Freelancer caused a lot of problems for us. Why don't we take this disgruntled individual and use it to kill two birds with one stone? Chorus is causing problems for us. We can kill all three birds with one stone and then do away with Temple once all that's done.
He can take the fall because obviously he's a madman.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm wondering if
this is his ghost face moment. Pull off the mask. I'm Jay Garrick. Choose some fucking scenery for a while.
Oh,
this
gosh.
is his ghost face moment. My question is the rest of his team in on it?
That's a good question.
Do they know? Because
That's a
it's
great
entirely possible that he is just doing this shit on his own and then coming up with something like, well, I sent this freelancer away somewhere else. He'll be safe. Don't worry. I know where they are. I'm not telling anyone else because that way, if anything happens, they won't go after you for the information. We're all on the same team.
Temple is the only one that seemed disingenuous when they started talking to all of these people.
Yeah, everyone else seemed fairly on the
and
level or normal for what we've come to expect from their animals.
I was so confused because I was like, I clearly don't trust Temple, but everybody else, I can't tell if they're playing dumb or not. And now that we've seen this side of Temple, I'm like, yeah, they're probably all patsies in this too. And he's, as you put it, the Ghostface mastermind with his mask. Maybe he's got a voice changer too. He's like, that's why you didn't recognize my voice.
Like, I don't think he does. Or I was afraid that... What's your favorite scary movie? Or I was afraid you'd recognize my voice, I don't think would have come up. Otherwise, it would have been a drop the voice changer.
For sure.
Oh my God, it's you. And then I legitimately... Yeah, I think that she ran train on them as a training exercise and killed their griff. Just not even thinking about their people. Because Carolina at the time was not okay.
Which, again, it makes me think he's just a sim trooper, but at the same time, because of that connection, and he was so worried that she would recognize him, either that's an inflated sense of self-importance on his part, or there
vengeance is a motivator.
That's true. I'm just wondering if there's
aim that fucking sniper rifle.
I'm just wondering if there's not a, like, if he's not a. That's why I'm like, is he a sim trooper or was he just a lowly person in Freelancer who just got steamrollered by Church and Church's family? And speaking of,
I do think that he was a sim trooper. Because
it makes more
what
sense.
They did to us, specifically what she did. So they might have been more than one training off, because these guys were the original before we took the alpha and put them where we did. So it's possible that the people that we modeled the Blood Gulch Outpost Alpha after was this. And this group that we have here were all of the ones getting the training sims in the height of Freelancer and getting beaten to hell and back. So when they found out, or even just when Temple found out, and that probably came to a head
the first group,
and that probably came to a head when their griff presumably died, presumably was killed, presumably by Carolina. That makes sense.
You get this. Like, I'm on a roll. Gosh, there was another point I was gonna make, and it's escaping me right now.
I lost my train of thought in the middle of Zombie Apocalypse Survivor, and I'm surprised I found it again, so... it's late, y'all.
I'm losing my train of thought as well.
I'm just super amused that this happened on the heels of Carolina saying, if we're going to bring them to justice, can it be in a court and a court-martial and not at the end of a knife?
Which was a beautiful bit of character development for her. I love that.
I'm also just mad that when it turned out that he wanted a fight, that she put her gun away and that neither of them just fucking shot him right there. And I'm terribly amused that it was a kid's toy that had the technology in it, because that's been a running thing.
Yeah. I remember my thought now.
Go fight, win.
I think this all that but confirms that Church is not alive. That this is
absolutely.
100% just being done to manipulate them and get them to where Temple wants them to be. And again, if he is actually a pawn in somebody else's grander scheme, then it would make sense that he'd be able to create something like that as, like, if he's got, like, backing. If he's got higher-ups who can help him forge that kind of signal.
The flip side is, we know that Loco is really good with technology. We got that last episode.
True too.
So what if Temple said, I need this, make it, and Loco was just like, okay, not Church, okay, best friend, okay, whatever. I do a very bad caboose. Very bad.
It's pretty terrible.
It's pretty terrible. It's pretty terrible. It is hard to be caboose. It is hard to write caboose. It is hard to do all of that, and that's why I think that everyone except Temple is genuine, because method acting for that is fucking difficult.
Could you imagine, though, he's like, oh, finally, I don't have to keep doing that. I don't have to keep pretending to be a moron.
Which also makes me wonder what Temple's team is going to do once shit goes down. Because
Yeah.
I doubt it's going to go how Temple wants, because you can plan for Reds and Blues to an extent when you know them, but they're also Reds and Blues. Which is just like chaotic neutral, let's fucking go.
Which, again,
So
it's
possible, back to what I was going at, that Temple could have been like, I need something that can pull records from X. I need a way to do audio and video. I need a way to do whatever, and then help get the supplies, and then just set Loco to making it. And Loco has the ability to make it without the understanding for what it's for. And then just tells Loco, it's our special little secret, just between you and me, best buddy.
Or even one step further, be like, this is the only way we're going to be able to warn the Blues and the Reds and the Blues. This is the only way we can help them. Again, this is assuming the rest of his team is
not
genuine.
in on it.
They could very well be in on it because they lost someone too. They all
True,
might
but-
actually
well,
be that dumb, but coming together for a common goal.
But we've also seen how the Reds and Blues at least handle losing Church. Like, they get mad, they get fucked up, they get whatever, but they also recover fairly well. And so I would imagine that the Blues and Reds were similar, and that Temple, once he figured out that this wasn't the war, that this was just Freelancer fucking with them, was the only one unable to let it go, or didn't want to tell the rest of his team for fear that it would break them, or because it would make them difficult to manipulate in this revenge scheme. There are so many ways that this could go.
Well, you know what? Another thing, and maybe this is undermined a little bit because Donut and Cronut didn't die, but most
Donut and Cronut.
Most times when Church dies, he comes back.
It's true.
He's gotten a few second chances. When other people die, they stay dead. Like, there is no coming back. So Temple doesn't get that same, oh, you died, but you came back as a ghost. And then, there was a completely different AI fragment that is you. And that we just brought that back again. And even when that one went away, it did come back and it helped us out. And now that that one's gone, I'm sure there's another way to bring him back, even if there's clearly not. Like, it's been a routine at this point. Temple doesn't get that. When his friends die, they're dead.
True. But we had that for Donut for a bit, at least, until we rewrote that, which is still the only thing where I'm like...
You think he should have stayed dead?
It's
too late now.
I love Donut. He's a great character.
Actions require consequences.
Actions require consequences, and that is now made it so that no one, fandom included, ever believes that anyone can ever die.
The meta's dead, guys!
Yeah.
Calm down.
Fandom included is the part where I kind of get like, he died on screen, they confirmed it 5 different ways, can you fucking stop? Not everyone is an AI. So no confirmation that Donut is dead, and then no explanation as to how the fuck he came back, or no good explanation as to how the fuck he came back. It's just kind of like, I love you all. I'm so mad at this decision. Actions need consequences.
Well,
especially in the serious seasons.
That seems to be the point. If we're right in our assessment about their Griff getting killed, that is an action that has a consequence. And that seems to be a running theme this season based on what we discussed with Joe.
And what we've observed.
By the way, guys, if you haven't watched that yet, go check it out on AfterBuzz TV.
I'd say last week's, but it was more 2 weeks ago by the time this video comes out. Our after show for episodes 5 through 8, we had the wonderful John Nicolosi on, and he said some wonderful things, and he actually said a lot more than I thought he'd be able to, which was a surprise.
Anyway, neither here nor there. We could speculate till the cows come home, but
even if he hurts my favorite characters, he's great.
Long story short, obviously Temple's shown his hand, whether or not his
to the audience.
So
now we have dramatic irony.
But whether or not his cohorts are in on it, and whether or not he's also a pawn, have yet to be seen. I feel like the only other thing I want to comment on is that now he was able to lead Tucker around by the nose prior to this. But now that Washington and Carolina have mysteriously disappeared, I don't think Tucker's going to be so easily manipulated with them, because he knows them and he knows that they wouldn't just up and leave willy-nilly after everything that's happened.
Because Carolina learned that lesson.
She did.
She absolutely
and
fucking
he and
learned
Wash
that lesson.
have a bond now.
Yeah. They are bros. They are good friends. He's not just going to show up and then peace out without fucking telling anyone.
The only reason they would leave is because somebody made them, much like Wash getting kidnapped. What was that, season 10? 11? No.
11.
11, yes.
11 was 11. Freckles Shake.
Yeah.
The first instance of Schrodinger's Wash.
Yes. So,
yep.
Yeah, that's my thought process on it. Is I don't think he's going to be led around by the nose anymore.
Oh yeah, and I really do think that Dylan and Jax are going to come back into this in a huge way, because we introduced them for a reason. We gave them these personalities for a fucking reason. Jax is basically Dylan's Reds and Blues. Let's be real.
He's adorable.
He is.
Sweet baby angel.
But they are going to be what tips the scales. They are what Temple was not planning for, and that's why he's worked so hard to be like, hey, leader of this team that I'm fucking with, you can't trust these people. They knew about Rhino and didn't tell you.
They're the unknown variable that he couldn't have predicted.
So he's doing the best that he can, but I really do think that they are going to be the spanner in the works.
I hope so.
Along with the usual... Well, he can plan for the usual red and blue bullshit because he has all the analogs.
And they're
the ones that he can't plan for
yeah.
are Griff. Should Griff come back in some capacity, I wonder if it won't be... Dylan and or Jax going to find Griff.
Maybe.
Going to get him and bring him back.
We need your help, that sort of thing. All your friends are counting on you. I know you said you hate them, but you know that's not true.
Do you really?
I love the idea of them being, not necessarily the ones to save the day, but definitely being a part of this story rather than just being spectators in it.
Yes.
So, I like it. Because I like Dylan. I think she's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
She's very interesting. So it'd be cool if instead of reporting about heroes, she became one in the process.
Part of what sucks so much is that her chasing this story led to this happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Temple never would have found the Reds and Blues without that message going to Chorus. Well, eventually something would have happened where Chorus would have found someone to send it to them. Yeah. Like, that wasn't going to exist in a vacuum. It just wound up being her.
It's also possible that the crimes that they were committing would have continued escalating until the Reds and Blues were brought out of hiding.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was the point now. Now that we've seen this.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the point. And actually...
Because the recovery beacon thing didn't work.
And now that I think about it... Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
You finish.
I was thinking about, like, going back to the first episode, I'm like, now that I think about it, yeah, no, screw all these other sim guys, they're in on it. Pretty sure Surge murdered a guy with an alien gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, screw that. I'm sorry, I'm going back on what I said before. They're all in on it. They're all assholes. If I'm wrong, then I'm
because
wrong.
The Reds and Blues have definitely killed a lot of people and still continued being themselves. So I wonder if under Temple's leadership, it's these are the bad guys, these are the UNSC, and no one questions it.
That's where I'm planting my flag for right now, though. I will probably change my mind in an episode or two.
I'm willing to entertain most variables. I'm also kind of just like, part of me is going, why did none of these agents disable their recovery beacons if they knew they existed? And the other part of me is like, Wash worked recovery.
Yeah.
He probably understood that a lot better than everyone else.
No.
And there's also the question of how many of Epsilon's memories does he have? How much information does he have? And I'm kind of like poking at the point of, does he have the codes to override the armor lockdown?
Maybe.
Because that would be information that Alpha had, and he knew all of it.
Oh, snap. That'd be great.
I doubt that they're going to go that way.
No.
Especially since they reworked the armor lockdown, so it's probably different codes. Same software, different, especially since it didn't lock down Temple as well, and he has Freelancer issued armor. Or maybe it only works in that specific area, and that's why he had them in, and he was
And that's why he
outside that
chose-
circle.
Yeah.
So it's possible that it's just location based, but yeah, if the override code isn't still built in.
Yeah, he might be able to get them out.
This isn't Sword Art Online. We didn't just copy paste the code and leave the admin back door. For being a show that I don't really like all that much, I come back to it a lot. Just basically in terms of here's what's not to do in a story.
Oh, if you want the good version of SAO, go watch the abridged series. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, no, it's fucking amazing.
Or just, watch the first arc and then go straight to SAO 2. Much better.
The first arc.
Or just skip straight to SAO 2. It's kind of great.
Yeah!
I like SAO 2 a lot.
Well, SAO 2 doesn't work as well without the context of SAO 1.
It's also got Scream.
Spoilers. Anyway.
Evil villain with a voice changer and a mask? I feel like that's pretty blatant.
I'm Jay Garrick.
I am Ghostface, I guess. I am Death Gun.
God damn it.
What was his name?
Yeah, no, anyone who watches Flash or anyone who watches the Arrow after show knows that the Jay Garrick joke will never fucking die. It's a season old and we're still doing it. Because everyone was Jay Garrick. Yeah. Anyway.
You kidding?
I'm good. Is it too late to go put alcohol in my drink? I'm good.
This whole
started with it.
whole serial killer thing still has you a little unnerved, huh?
Little bit. I was not expecting that turn. I mean, we had Felix this last arc, and I was still not expecting this, because holy shit.
I kind of like it, though.
Me too!
Like,
this was a Ghostface reveal!
Yeah.
Oh, this was like Jigsaw machinations. Machinations? How the fuck do you say that word?
Machinations? I think it's machinations, but I might be
I
making
think
that up.
so. This is Jigsaw bullshit. And a Ghostface reveal.
This is far less convoluted than most of Jigsaw's schemes, to be fair.
True, but it's a
This is
thing.
fairly straightforward.
All he needs is a pig mask and a toy. He has the toys. Fuck.
But tish. Yeah, I like that we have a different type of villain, that it's manifested
think?
itself via serial killer tendencies as opposed to, like, I'm just a big badass with a flamethrower, which those villains are great and a lot of fun, but I like that this is something different.
Winter agrees.
Yeah.
Are you worried about them? A little
She
bit?
sounds so scary. That being said,
Mom.
we've been chatting about this for a while.
It's been 45 minutes since we started.
So it
And
has.
we're only cutting out some of that.
So it has. I think that we need to dial this back until the after show.
This is what happens when we have a fucking Ghostface reveal. We all kind of go a little
I
nuts.
love it. Let me just chew the scenery. But like I said, we kind of knew from the start that we couldn't really trust Temple with how hard he's projecting. Like, he even calls his hideout a lair.
You did.
This
You've been calling everything
This is why I think he's a pawn in somebody else's game, because that's kind of a huge beacon right there. So that's why I think
it's
somebody
just
else's
him.
puppets dance.
And we also have at least 10 more episodes according to the after show,
Which makes me think, again, seems a little too early for our big bad reveal.
Well, and I seriously doubt we're going to leave Washington, Carolina in armor lock for the next 10 episodes. Like, unless it's one of those things where it's really quick. Well, yeah, that makes sense. You can survive for 3 weeks. Actually, what's crazy is you can survive for 3 weeks without food and generally 3 to 4 days without water. So 8.5 days is nuts.
Way to twist the knife, though. Like, oh, that's the record? You're really good at breaking records.
Don't disappoint me. And I'm like, you don't understand. Wash has a lot of luck stats, but he puts them all into not dying. He has the world's worst luck. But everything else, all of his luck stats are just not fucking dying. This is a guy who rolls natural 20s on his death saving throws, which brings you back to consciousness and gives you 1 hit point, as opposed to potentially leaving you to die.
Just, okay, before we wrap up, the other really kind of just sad little note is that Illinois had a drink in his hand, which means when he was frozen, he probably grabbed a bottle and was like, let me pour you a drink.
The question is whether he was frozen where he was and then transported, or frozen in that little circle. And it could be either, because we definitely had someone who was in the middle of combat with a knife. We had all sorts of different poses.
Yeah.
So that's the question, is what's the range on this armor lock tech that he did? How does it work? What does it lock down? And then, yeah, it would make...
What other equipment can it be used on?
And it would mean that everyone else would be in on it. Yeah, because how else do you explain transporting a fucking statue of a human being?
Well, and again, I'm thinking that he's got some backing either at the UNSC or former Project Freelancer higher-ups. He's got to have
higher-ups for Freelancer are fucking dead.
Unless they got promoted or switched departments. There are lots of ways you can get out of a bad job. I'm just saying he's got to have somebody backing him whose motives I'm not going to guess at in this video because we've been talking for too long. But he's got to have somebody backing him, because how else would a sim trooper be able to get their hands on all of these resources?
Abandoned places, for one. Being able and willing to blow shit up, for another.
He's not Zemo from Civil War. I don't know if that's the guy's name. He's not
Zemo, yeah.
Yeah, he's not Zemo from Civil War. He wasn't particularly gifted. He would have had
that was
somebody
a fucking Xanatos gambit.
Yeah.
For Civil War. Like, that was batshit insane. Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure we will get a longer Ghostface monologue at some point where we will get all of the answers and all of what he plans to do and whatnot.
I love my Ghostface monologues. They're so fun.
Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Like, I'm sure we'll get all that at some point. Right now we have the oh shit moment.
Yeah.
And the I'm Jake Eric.
And it's funny, because of all this, we basically completely overshadowed like all of the heartfelt stuff with Caroline and Wash, like leading up to that. So we didn't even talk about that, but we've got no time.
We'll worry about the heartfelt stuff when we're sure that your hearts aren't going to fucking stop.
Got a couple days.
That got messy.
Got a couple days. They've got a couple days.
3 days, give or take.
Yeah.
No substitutions, exchanges, or refunds?
I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah.
That's how that works at all.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, the heart stuff was really good. It was like, oh, you're hurting me. Oh shit, now you're actually hurting me.
It's a good thing we have Ruby Chibi to watch now.
This is the order that we recorded. Because otherwise it's like, well, I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Sugar, sugar.
I'll be fine.
Oh,
all right.
Honey. I'm Megan. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TheMenguin. That's TheMenguin.
We do this shit on cue. And I'm Katie Cullen. You can follow me all over the social medias at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. If you like horror stuff, if you like us talking about horror stuff, which I certainly fucking hope so, because we've done enough talking about Scream and zombie movies on this. We have a sister channel, Silver Screams. That is Silver_Screams on the social medias and Silver Screams on YouTube. We did a reaction to the Castlevania trailer that is definitely up by the time this video goes up, because what is delay? So yeah, if you want to check that out, and we are getting back to long form stuff soon, because I just got some of my weeknights back, which is super fucking helpful, and I think we might also actually have weekends back, which is also super fucking helpful. Like, time management. Yes, if you want to support this channel, there are a couple of ways to do this. Cheers. Kanpai. I just lost my train of thought. There it goes. Goodbye.
Down
There
down
is,
there, down
everything
there,
is
down
in the
there.
description below. We have a Ko-fi if you just want to throw us a couple of bucks donation. We have a Patreon if you would like to support us in a more continual manner. You get all sorts of fun, shiny shit from that, like videos of my cat, videos of shelter cats, conversations with me if you want to talk one-on-one as opposed to screaming into the void, which generally doesn't get replied to. Your name on videos and the blooper reel that we were talking about. Like, all of that fun shit.
The void needs someone to scream at it.
The void,
Otherwise, the void is just the void.
the void takes a lot of screaming, but rarely ever responds. So I feel like at some point the void's gonna get real fucking tired of being screamed at. We have a very sympathetic void. Yeah, the other way you can the other way you can support this channel is if you would like to commission us. We do not take requests. We do not take suggestions. Because some of y'all are getting creative with that shit.
Might I suggest?
No. We don't take requests. We don't take suggestions. We take commissions. So if you want us to react to something or if you want us to talk about something, the commission information is linked below. Go ahead, peruse that. There is a commission contact email in there. Hit that up. We will talk. We will do things. It will be great. Yes. Any final thoughts? Sobbing, crying, collapsing into a heap somewhere. Oh wait, that's me. Is that it? Is that your final thought?
I want to be right again.
You do that a lot.
I want to be right again.
You were right about
I got a taste for it.
You were right about not trusting Temple. I was willing to give that fucker a chance.
I got a taste for it. I need more.
I believe my exact words were, we've had Felix, we know not to trust people, so if they're going to have someone betray us, I don't think they'd telegraph it that much.
This is why I think he's a pawn in someone else's scheme.
True, we do have about half the season to go. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Winter, how are you feeling? She doesn't give a shit.
Washington!